writing, how in the heck are they going to see it? So before you go into any investment, you better make sure you know what the fees are, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you have an advisor. And if you don't put it in writing, don't deal with that advisor and make sure. Because when you ask an advisor across the nation, hey, what am I paying in fees? The typical, almost, not for sure, but almost guaranteed response is about 1% in fees. That's what every single client always hears, about 1%. And it might be true, because sometimes they might think, 1.1% is about 1, which is pretty close. They might think 1.5 is close to 1. They might think 2% is about 1%, which I guess is kind of true, but we don't think that. They could say, well, 3% is about 1%. Well, maybe, but maybe not. But if you're paying 2 or 3% fees, which we see a lot of people doing on their total assets, they're not going to be able to get ahead very easily.
A great example. I have somebody coming in today. It's a new client. They're coming in to finalize their plan, and they believe we're paying a fee of 1%. The person managing their money is a very good friend of theirs for over 30 years, been managing money for now 20 years. And when I went through the analysis with them, they had a fee structure. They were paying about 2.85% in fees. That's the advisor fee, the mutual fund fees, the training costs, etc. When I explained to this thing, they denied it emphatically. Matter of fact, they took the information that we presented to them back to their current advisor and friend, and he disputed it. That's not true. You're only paying 1%. They came back to my office 2 weeks later and said, Jim, we have a problem. My advisor said, I'm not paying those fees. I said, well, you are paying those fees. Just come from third-party research. You're not getting out of those fees. We don't get out of those fees. They went back to their advisor again, and the advisor disputed it a second time. Finally, I explained to the client exactly how to explain it to the advisor and for them to go talk to the boss, which they didn't want to do because it was their friend. And finally, the advisor said, yes, you're paying those fees, but the consumer would never have known it. They would have taken it by word by the advisor.
It's pretty simple. People are confused and don't understand what they're paying fees because the fees are not in writing. It's that simple. Nothing else. They're not in writing. So if your current advisor won't put it in writing what you're currently paying and sign it, then you need to find a new advisor. If a new advisor won't put all the fees you're paying in writing, then you better not use that advisor. So it comes down to being pretty simple rules to play by. And fees are important because if you look at paying 1 or 2% more in fees per year, you see how that could devastate the value of your assets for yourself for income or the money you pass on to beneficiaries. It becomes very scary. So you have to look at it. If you have your fees in writing, give yourself 10 points, if not, 0. Now, how about number 4? We'll start it, and we'll probably mold this into next section too, but number 4 is, do you have in writing how much income you can safely take out of your assets without having to worry about running out of assets or running out of income? And I think the key is here, let's change this to running out of income, because most people, they want to make sure they never run out of their income for as long as they live, because that will change their lifestyle. And right now, you're usually flippantly told answers to all these questions that we're covering, such as, oh yeah, don't worry, you can take out enough income, or don't worry, you can take out 4, 5, or 6%, and you probably won't run out, or it's very safe to do this. Well, we need to make sure in writing that someone's putting that down for you. They're showing you an income plan that shows this is how much income is coming out of your assets.
Well, just take the last 2 years. It's real simple. Do the math. 2 years ago, the NASDAQ is still down about 16% from what it was 2 years ago. The S&P is still down about 10%. So if you were taking out 4% per year in income off $1 million, because your advisor told you could take out 4% per year, 2 times 4 is 8. You took out 8%. If you're in the NASDAQ, you're down 60. You're still down 24%. So how's that going to work long term if you don't have the numbers in writing where you say to yourself convincingly that I have predictable income for the rest of my life? You can't do it unless you have it in writing.
That's great information. But Jim, our listeners who are in their late 50s, 60s, or 70s, they probably have a lot of questions about their money, especially about retirement. Questions like,
have I saved enough money so I won't run out? How much income can I take out of my IRAs and 401ks? How can I reduce taxes and risk on my IRAs and 401ks? And these questions have to be answered for a successful retirement.
Well, in retirement, people have to manage their money completely differently. They can't take the risk they used to. They don't have time on their side to make any more of those big losses. They have to create income that won't run out for as long as they live.
So roadmap to show you how much further your money can go in retirement. This is a customized plan specifically for each listener that addresses the biggest challenges in retirement today with IRAs, 401ks, risk taxes, and Social Security.
We know, Jim, with all that work, this type of customized plan, it could cost thousands of dollars, but we're going to do it for free. Our typical client, they've saved at least $1 million for retirement, but if you save $500,000 or more, you can actually schedule your free confidential consultation with us simply by dialing pound 250 on your cell phone, pound 250, and then say the keyword money.
You know, Dan, this is an opportunity for the listener to put our 60 years of combined financial planning experience to work for them. Our goal is to help people stop worrying about their money so much. To schedule your free analysis, dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the keyword money. Again, pound 250 and say the keyword money.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online. Qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
Sacramento news voices you can trust. Christina Mendonça and Sam Shane at KFBK Morning News on KFBK News Radio. From California's capital city, now trending on KFBK, Sacramento's News Radio.
Well, there's good news when it comes to the I-10. It'll be opening ahead of schedule.
10,000 labor hours all told to get us to this point ahead of schedule, 8 days to get this thing open and operational. And that means, if you're doing the math, that this thing opens tonight. It will be fully operational tomorrow.
That's Governor Gavin Newsom. More than 250 people worked on this section of the freeway 24 hours a day after a fire last Saturday. Officials have also released a picture of a person of interest in the case. And speaking of the I-10, a grant program is being made available for downtown businesses that may have been affected by the Santa Monica freeway closing. Mayor Karen Bass says the program is being administered by the Los Angeles Economic Workforce and Development Department. That's a look at the latest news. I'm Ryan Baker.
Now, Sacramento traffic.
Big problems in Sacramento, westbound Cap at El Camino. A major crash is blocking the left lane. That's why you're slowing for Marconi. Also in Sacramento, you're bunching up big time westbound 50 for the 1599 split to 15th Street. In Rockland, be aware, westbound 80 at Sierra College Boulevard. There's a dog running loose on the right-hand shoulder. Westbound Exposition Boulevard at I-80 at Contal Beacles blocking the left lane. Eastbound Winona Way at Watts, a minor fender bender blocking the right turning lane. Traffic on the 10s every 10 minutes, mornings and afternoons. Steve Herrera, KFBK News Radio, 93.1 FM, 1530 AM.
Ridiculous with people. Like, stop